my silly self realized that we were doing 2 military political movies, even though I was like, wow, okay.
They both fit the climate.
Yeah, they do.
But we're going to try and keep it as apolitical as possible.
I won't go political on it anyways.
I didn't think Wag the Dog was very political.
No,
I think that any sitting president probably could do something like that.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
for sure.
I don't think that it has anything to do with Republicans, Democrats, liberals,
Right.
anything like that.
Yeah, and I think they even make a point
That movie
for that
got
too.
so dark.
It did.
I think that's
So fast.
It's fine. This is fine.
It's fine.
It's nothing.
This is nothing.
nothing.
It's
This is
nothing.
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 We got it.
Keep going.
This helps.
Welcome to the Movies with Chill podcast. I am your host, Chill. Today we'll be reviewing Wag the Dog from 1997. Wag the Dog is a dark political comedy drama directed by Barry Levinson and written by Hilary, Henkin, and David Mamet. Based on the novel American Hero by Larry Beinhart.
It's like Beinhart.
Starring Dustin Hoffman, Robert DeNiro, and Heche.
And Heche.
Denis Leary.
The late Anne Heche.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, she died.
Willie Nelson, Andrea Martin, Kirsten Dunst, and William H. Macy. After a sex scandal is about to leak, a sleazy Hollywood producer is hired to stage a war in Albania to distract potential voters. Tonight, as always, I am joined by David and Lee. How you boys doing tonight?
What's up?
What's up?
Oi, boys.
Oi. But first, what have you guys been watching this week?
I watched The Defenders season 1, or I guess miniseries.
How was that?
I liked it.
I think that the ending of it wasn't as climactic as we were hoping
I
for.
100% agree with that, but I thought it was good.
It was good. I liked their interpretation of each series has their own Daredevil hallway fight scene, you know what I'm saying? And so I kind of liked their variation of that with everybody kicking on.
It was pretty cool.
And it's also like Iron Fist's strongest portrayal in any of the episodes.
Yeah, that frustrates me.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the immortal Iron Fist.
Right. He's supposed to be a badass.
And
like,
in Iron Fist, they show like an old video of another Iron Fist, and both of his fists are lit up as he's fighting. And I'm like,
do that.
I just want him just go like full chi on him. Good God.
I
And
guess-
he's so dumb.
Yeah.
He's so dumb.
For a billionaire, this Danny Rand is not on the top of the tier.
It's like he has no common sense whatsoever.
No.
It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
And then Jessica Jones has nothing but common sense.
Yes. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, gosh.
Yeah.
But I think that if we had more time and we got like a Heroes for Hire with Luke Cage and Danny Rand, I feel like their personalities would have kind of... Because that's how they are in the comics. Like, it's Heroes for Hire. They basically are just best bros. Iron Fist and Luke Cage are.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, and they're very much not in this series.
No, not at all. No. But yeah, unfortunately, Iron Fist just goes down from here. So... Colleen Wing is kind of the only hope that I have for that show.
Yeah, there's only 2 seasons, so I have to watch. I don't know when that's coming up in my list. I'm sure sometime soon. I'm on Punisher season 1 right now. So,
Okay, that's all right.
I watched Trap. I liked it.
Yeah.
Did you?
I really did.
It's
Even though,
kind of a dark comedy, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't really care for Josh Hartnett that much. Like, he was 50-50 with me. Like, half the time he was really goofy and overacting a lot. Especially with any scene with his daughter, he's overacting. But when he's focusing on trying to get away, dude was great.
I mean, do you think that was by design then?
I don't know.
I bet it was.
I hope so, because it really drove me nuts. No, I liked the movie. It was a fresh take, and I liked it.
Been wanting to see it.
So on that One Piece kick, man, we just finished Impel Down, which is Luffy spent like 20, 30 episodes going down each tier of this prison. The jail was able to get his brother out, and now they're trying to execute him. And like, this is, for me, the Avengers Endgame season of One Piece so far, and it's called Marineford. And basically, Luffy and quite a few of the other side characters that you've been introduced to converge together, and then you have the Marines,
Right.
and they're trying to execute Ace, his brother, but then you get this crazy twist, which are like, oh my god, but it's like everything's nuts, everything's fighting, and it's insane, complete insanity. So it's cool. Not that you'll
How
ever
many more
watch
episodes do you have?
We're like halfway there to being caught up, so we're 400, 500 some ish episodes in.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And they're what, 22 minutes?
Yeah, about 22 minutes. Yeah. Like I was saying
so
earlier,
much.
you can probably cut out like 7 or 8 minutes of those 22 episodes because of the intro, the outro, the recap.
Yeah.
Cool. So I got 15 minutes out of
Yeah, that's crazy.
Back to Wag the Dog. So we picked this movie because we figured we'd have something fun to kind of take your mind off of the presidential election that has been going on.
Was
for the
this
last
your
10
selection?
months. I think
Kind
it
of
was
a group
selection.
Was it? I haven't thought about this movie in a long time.
I'd never seen it.
I'd never seen it either.
I saw it in the theater,
Really?
and I was 17.
Wow.
And hated it.
I bet.
Really?
I didn't really care for it.
Really?
Oh, I did. I liked it
I
now.
thought that was funny.
It was okay.
Yeah, I liked it now. I mean, I think now that I get it,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But at 17, I didn't know what the hell was
What I
going on.
liked about it is the stuff that probably turns most people off. The dark
dark
parts.
comedy.
Sure.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
we know how it ends, and I thought that was extremely dark.
Right.
Right, yeah.
I was like, wow.
Oh, we
okay.
went here.
We went there. I thought
Yeah.
he was kidding.
Yeah. Nope. First time watching it, and we wanted to do something that kind of tie into it, but we didn't want it to be like super serious. We didn't want to choose like Vice or any of these other.
Right.
Right.
Icebreaker for this week is, who is your favorite or best fictional president?
I mean, right away, I knew the answer.
Go ahead.
And it's Bill Pullman from Independence Day.
Right,
Okay.
Right. That was the first one I thought of,
Yeah.
but it's not the one I'm going with.
Okay.
Calvin reminded me. It's Terry Crews from
Yep.
Idiocracy.
Okay.
Dwayne Alonzo Mountain Dew
Camacho.
Camacho.
Yeah.
He was great.
He's ridiculous.
He was the best. I loved it. We got this guy. Not sure.
Calvin?
Go
fix
fix
the
the
crops.
economy.
Yep. Rondo got what plants crave.
Plants crave. Electrolyte.
What about you?
I was either going to go with him or James Marshall from Air Force One, which
That's
is
a good one, too.
Harrison Ford. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really good one.
those top three, I can't think of a better fictional
No one
president.
picked Dave?
No,
No.
no, afraid not.
Sorry, buddy.
No. It's okay.
Can't do it.
Let's get into the movie before there's a stroke.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the movie before we get into spoilers. Wag the Dog has a runtime of 97 minutes. It premiered at Century City December 17th of 1997 and had a wide release date of December 25th. So on Christmas is when this movie released.
I remember
Merry
the hype
flippin'
behind this.
Christmas.
I remember the hype behind this movie.
Really?
Like I can remember the commercial spots for it, and
Yeah.
people made a big deal about it, mainly because it was Robert De Niro and Dustin Hoffman together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heavyweights.
Yeah.
I remember it coming out. I just never had any interest in it
Yeah.
until I was forced to.
I mean, this movie, it's interesting. It's like it just begins. It is fast paced. I will
Very
say
much so.
the timing is perfect on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel too long.
No.
It never stops. It's always entertaining. All the little twists in it are really
Right.
good. Acting's great in it.
Right.
Yeah, you can't.
It definitely doesn't come across as like your typical film as far as its structure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, not at all.
It's not
Because-
serious enough to be a drama, but it's not funny enough to be a full-on comedy.
Right.
There's no real villain in this movie.
No.
I think we're following the villains, but we
We are following the villains, but there's no like real. I mean, they're not
Yeah,
good
there's no
people.
hero.
They're,
No.
but
There's
they're
no hero.
there's
There's
no-
just bad people.
Yeah.
Well, there's
there's
William
no
H. Macy, I feel like, is the only hero that you
Sort
get
of.
out of this thing, and then he just backs down. But that's for later.
I mean,
Had a
Willie
budget.
Nelson. I mean, come on.
Right.
Willie Nelson did a great job.
He did a great
Awesome.
job. I wish that he was Willie Nelson.
Right?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
should have just been Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
I'm sure he didn't want his name. You know what I mean?
Eh.
It had a budget of $15 million and it grossed $64.3 million. Top box office, and this is for January of 1998 because it came out on Christmas. Number one, any takers for 98?
I got nothing. Just do it.
Okay. Titanic. Number two, As Good as It Gets. Three,
Good movie.
I love that movie so much.
Goodwill
Jack
Hunting.
Nicholson.
Damn.
4, Tomorrow Never Dies. 5, Mouse Hunt. 6, Wag the Dog. 7, Jackie Brown. 8, Fallen. 9.
Love that movie.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. I
It's
went
so
into it.
underrated.
Yeah. Is on my side.
So
Yes,
good.
it is.
Look around.
Amistad, number 9, and number 10 is Scream 2.
I mean, they're all bangers. They really
Yeah.
are all good in their own like.
Way.
And then
way.
just Wag the Dog is thrown in there.
Right.
It's like, hey, look at me. I'm
Yeah.
a wild card.
Here we are. A couple facts about the movie before we get into spoilers is Robert De Niro and Dustin Hoffman made the movie for no upfront salary.
Everything
that-
on the back end. It
Took
Yeah.
that back end.
was back in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
go.
Oh, yeah.
This movie was filmed 28 days, and it occurred during the gap in production during Barry Levinson's other movie, Sphere. So,
Ooh.
I like that movie.
yeah.
Sphere was good.
Yeah, it's a good little sci-fi.
Doesn't it have Sharon Stone?
It has.
Didn't it have Dustin Hoffman in it?
It has Dustin Hoffman in it. It has Sam Jackson in it.
Yeah.
It has the guy from Sliders.
Michael Crichton.
That's the writer of the book.
Peter Cody.
Doesn't ring any bells.
Liv Schreiber. Queen Latifah.
I forgot about Queen. She gets the jellyfish. I refuse. Just wait.
I refuse.
It's Liv Schreiber.
Yeah.
That's who I'm talking about. Yeah.
Liv Schreiber.
From Sliders.
2.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Ray Donovan?
Ray Donovan.
Yeah, that was a good show.
That
Was
good.
it?
Yeah.
On
You'd like it. He's a fixer in Hollywood.
Oh, cool.
Showtime.
Yeah.
The dark comedy version of that, which Barry.
Yeah.
Which
Barry's good too. I don't know if you've watched Barry
fantastic.
on HBO, but that's
Bill
Hader.
I know.
Bill Hader.
I've heard a lot about it. I just haven't.
It's fantastic.
I got too much stuff going on. Man.
Yeah.
You finish up the MCU, you'll free up some
It's
time.
I know it's gonna be amazing. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with myself.
Well, it's gonna free up some time.
Yeah.
I'll fill
I'm gonna
you
have
in.
to pause though because we got.
Attack on Anime.
Well, no, we got the Silo coming out the 14th of November. Mm-hmm. So,
And then we also have Severance coming up
next
too.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the beginning of the year, isn't it? Though.
I thought it was
March.
like January.
I mean,
it
that's-
could be March. Yeah. Anyway, after this film was released, U.S. President Bill Clinton became involved in a sex scandal with Monica Lewinsky. Real-life events seemed to mirror the film's plot in August of 1998 when Clinton ordered bombing attacks of al-Qaeda targets in Middle East after he testified, and just as Lewinsky was set to testify on the scandal, and later in December 1998 when his administration led a bombing raid in Iraq right before the U.S. House of Representatives was set to vote on his impeachment due to the Lewinsky scandal. Many political commentators and critics referenced the film, even using the term "wag the dog" to describe these events. Interest in the movie spiked quickly during this time.
I mean, yeah, none of it surprises me.
No.
I've always had that theory about the moon landing.
Really?
Like, I think that we went to the moon, but I think the first time we went to the moon, we didn't go to the moon.
Right.
I think that they went to the moon very quickly after that.
Yeah.
But I think that the first time was possible studio.
Right.
There's just too many coincidences of aerial shots of like Nevada desert that line up perfectly with the shot of the moon landing coming down, geographical. Yeah. Like, there's just too much stuff that I've seen.
Okay.
No.
I wasn't there, so.
I don't think that we
Me
didn't.
either. None of us
I
were
know
there.
we went to the moon.
moon,
I
right.
just don't think the first time
Right.
was the
went-
real
was
deal.
right there.
Yeah.
So, especially with tensions with the...
Yeah, it ended the Cold War. I mean,
Yeah.
like it was,
It was a big deal.
big deal.
Any details about the movie before we get into spoilers or anything like that?
I don't recall any.
I was just saying, like,
either.
acting, filming.
Yeah, I
Oh.
said it. It's all
Like that.
it's all top notch.
Yeah,
really.
the acting you can't beat with.
I will
Hoffman
say
and
maybe
De Niro.
script wise, it's a little hard to follow.
Very much
Well,
so.
at the beginning, they don't give you anything.
Yeah.
And I was kind of listening, watching. I was at work. I watched it at work.
Right.
And I was listening, watching, and I was like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, I have to pay
Not
attention.
with this movie,
Not
yeah.
with this movie. Like, you have to pay attention to this movie.
Yeah, I sat down and watched it, and I was getting up and down, having to do things, and I ended up having to pause the movie for a while because I was like, I'm not going to get
Yeah.
this if I don't pay attention.
This movie is like 90% dialogue.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very little action, 90% dialogue, and it's all storytelling. And it does a great job at it, but you have to pay attention to
And
it.
yeah, the more you pay attention to, the more humorous you get with the punchlines later on too.
Yeah, and really,
'Cause it does set
you
up a
need to
lot.
you do need to care a little bit about politics. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't give a shit about politics at all,
Right.
this is not your movie.
No.
But again, I would also say that because there are certain movies where it's like, oh, if you're a Republican or a Democrat, you're going to really enjoy this versus
No,
you
and
know,
I don't feel that way at all. I'm just saying you have to somewhat care about politics,
right. But that's what I'm
Or
saying.
or understand
the
how
cause and
politics
effect
work.
of your actions in politics,
Right.
basically.
What I was trying to get at, though, is that this movie, I don't feel like you need to be a fan of,
No.
one side or the other going into it. You know what I'm
Did
saying?
they
I
ever
feel like
really get into
No.
what side
no,
they're
they
on?
didn't.
No,
Yeah,
they never
didn't.
said either way.
But that's what I was saying. Is just like this is you can go into this
I do
apolitical
think
or
Craig
whatever.
T. Nelson's character was a Republican, though.
Yes, I think it does say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they had a little R next to his name
Yeah.
when they showed him up on the
Right.
TV.
But that's-
other than that, they
there's
didn't.
nothing.
There's
Yeah.
there's no back and forth between the parties whatsoever.
No.
Right.
Which
So
I
what-
liked.
I did too.
I
Yeah.
agree.
So would you guys recommend people watch this movie, and who would you recommend watch it?
Just who I said. I would say
Older.
30 plus.
Yep.
Honestly, unless you're like into politics in your 20s,
Yeah.
whatever. 18 plus for sure.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just not going to care. It's
And
going to be boring.
And it's not because there's like adult content or
Not
anything.
at all.
Well, there's
No.
like a little bit, but it's not. The reason we're saying over 18 is because you're just not gonna think it's like funny.
Well, you're just not going to be
It's not going to
interested.
pay. It's not going to pay off for you in the end.
Right.
Just like when I saw it when I was 17.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean,
I'm good.
I really didn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I because when we said Wag the Dog, I was like, and I watched it. I was like, oh yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that was pretty good.
I was
Yeah.
kind of
It's
the same
fun.
way with both movies. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
fine.
yeah.
I got you. Spoilers on your account, Lee?
No, it's fine. It's fine. This
fine.
is fine.
It's fine?
It's fine.
It's fine. Go
Fine.
ahead.
Cool. But first,
Trivia.
trivia. Question 1. At the beginning of the movie, how many days until the election?
11.
11 days. 2. What was the name of the Albanian actress?
It's
Kristen
Kirsten Dunst, but I don't remember her name in the movie.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's funny because they kept Tracy. No, it's Stacy.
Oh,
Stacy.
yeah.
Yeah. So.
Sure.
Yeah.
She had a bag of chips.
You're right.
We'll add the cat later.
Yeah, and that technology didn't
Did not
really
exist
exist. It
at
could
all.
have,
Right.
And we didn't know about it,
Right?
But them adding stuff, I'm like, that is not how
No.
any of that works.
He wants a white cat. Are you sure? Because I need a
add
calico.
a bridge, add flames.
Yeah.
That doesn't
I
work
need
that way,
somebody find me some screams.
right?
Yeah.
And the screams were ridiculous.
It was over the top
Yeah,
completely.
yeah.
Number 3. Which continent is Albania located in?
Is Europe? No,
Europe.
Asia. Is it Europe? I'm going Asia.
I'm going Europe.
Europe.
Damn,
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Eastern Bloc.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, baby.
Number 4.
Demi, why you do this?
Why you do this?
Demi, no.
Demi, no.
Don't look at me. Demi, no.
Question 4. What's the final approval rating of the president going into the election?
89.
89%. An
Yes.
unheard of number.
I don't think it ever would have even got to 89 because
God, I
people,
love him.
people are they are not going to forget about what he did. Like some will, but not all.
It was so
Not
bizarre.
11%. I
I
mean,
banged a Girl Scout.
Yeah, oh my gosh. She's a ginger.
Whatever.
Number 5. What are the 2 main candidates for this election?
The sitting president and Craig T. Nelson's character. Because we never got to see the president.
No, we did not.
no. All we see just the back of his head.
Yeah.
Neil versus the president.
All right.
Yeah. Bonus question. The term "why change horses midstream" was actually a slogan used by which U.S. president during their campaign? And I'm willing to give you guys 4 options.
All right.
Do it.
A. FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. B. Woodrow Wilson. C. Abraham Lincoln. D. Lyndon B. Johnson.
It's not Johnson.
I
And
think
it's
it's
not
B.
Lincoln.
I think it's Woodrow.
I think it's FDR.
I went with that. I'm going to go Woodrow. You go FDR. So
All
at
right,
least
so
one
one
of
of
us
us is
get
right.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Correct answer is C. Abraham Lincoln.
Really?
And it was used as the re-election took place during the Civil War.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Let's get into our long-form discussion.
Long, not so long.
Not so long
Not
form
so
discussion.
long.
Yeah.
I mean, really, this discussion's going to be kind of hard because so much crap happens.
And it's
boom, boom, boom.
It's blocky.
It's like an axe.
Yeah.
This movie is very much an axe. Like,
We don't need an act 2.
we're doing this.
We need a teaser.
Yeah.
We're doing
Need a
this.
teaser.
We're doing this.
As long as we get some points on the back end, I don't care.
right.
I mean, it starts off with Conrad, being by Robert De Niro. Winifred Ames, who is played by Anne Heche. They're sitting in a room. We don't know where it's at, but it's like
it's an important room.
It's like a war room,
Right.
Yeah.
basically. And they are
Situation.
very much a situation room. And they ask people in the room to get.
Get 'em.
Yeah.
Go and get 'em.
Go and get now.
We don't go and get 'em.
And they start talking about what is going to hit the news. And that is that a Firefly girl, not a Girl Scout, right?
Right.
So Firefly girl. They even say Girl Scouts in it, so I don't know why they just didn't make it a Girl Scout.
Scout,
But
right.
they say a Firefly girl was accosted in the Oval Office.
Inappropriately touched.
touched,
By the
molested
president in the
Right.
Oval Office.
in the Oval Office by the president. Election is in 11 days.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell are we going to do?
The
Because
scandal is going to break.
it's going to break.
And the president's in China.
Right.
Yeah. This movie is so hard that I don't think we're going to go through scene by scene. Let's just hit.
That's what I'm
think we
saying.
can.
Well, I'm just setting up like what happens,
Right.
right? So Conrad is like a spin doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Like he is going to,
Fix
he
it.
basically is going to put everyone's attention on something else.
Yeah.
Right.
And we are going to get away from
It's a Kansas City shuffle.
The Kansas City Shuffle, baby.
Right.
We're going to get away from this molestation of this underage girl in the Oval Office. So he was like, let's create a fictional war.
First off, he's like, I need $20,000 and I'm going to get on a plane and we're got to go to Hollywood.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we're getting shots of like him sitting in and then the public reaction to the news breaking on it. Like, oh my God, you know? So
And every time the camera's on him, too, you can see his brain just like, he's working.
Yeah.
He's
and
working.
he's always kind of has that like smile of like,
I'm working on it.
yeah.
Yeah, like he very rarely...
He never panics.
No.
He does it towards the end a couple of times. Like
When
he's...
the plane crashes.
Well,
Right.
that and like the convenience store situation. Right.
Scratch that.
Yeah. But at the beginning, he's like, we can spin this.
That's good.
We got this. Yeah.
Easy. We show up at Dustin Hoffman's house, who's the sleazy Hollywood producer, and they're sitting down. And he's like, "So I'm guessing this is why you guys are here, right?"
I feel like they tried to make him Martin Scorsese.
Yeah,
Because he
Agreed.
never won an Oscar.
No.
Right. Which, as a producer, don't you win Best Picture?
Best Picture, yeah. That's what I don't get. It's like when you win Best Picture, the
You win-
producer goes up and accepts the award.
But I mean, was that always the case?
Yes, as far as I know.
Interesting. Because that's the first thing I thought was if his movies have won Oscars, maybe they've just never been Best Picture. You know?
Right.
right.
I mean, maybe
Probably
that's
Best Director. Or
Right.
Something
And-
like that.
right.
Best Actors and crap.
And you're already getting the feeling, and he's already kind of making comments that, oh, I want the fame. I want the
Yeah.
fame, you know?
Yeah, he wants
And-
the credit.
Yeah. So he
No, you don't.
No.
Want
Kind of a
that
fun
smoke.
scene is that the press secretary is giving a speech and answering questions, and Dustin Hoffman's like,
What do you want him to say?
prove it to me. And
He's
so
like, what do you want him to say?
he
He
gives
goes,
him a
tell
line.
him, our thoughts and prayers are with the president, and we're all very concerned.
that was such a perfect
right.
thing to make him say too.
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers, baby.
Thoughts and
Fixes
prayers.
everything.
That's right.
So yeah,
cure all.
De Niro's character calls up, says, "Hey, have him say the line." He says the line. He's like, "All right, well, let's get started on this."
Right.
So they have this like long kind of montage where they're sitting down and they're throwing out ridiculous ideas, and they're like, "Well, let's just start a war. What are we going to start a war with?" They settle with Albania
Because who knows anything about Albania?
Where
Why,
do you-
why Albania? Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
No
Full
one.
of terrorists.
Yeah.
It's basically a third world country. It's not, but it basically is. You
Right.
know,
Right.
They get a nuke, but they don't have missiles. So
Right.
someone's going to say they don't have the ability to shoot missiles. Suitcase
Suitcase
nuke.
Suitcase at the
And,
border.
and they've snuck it into
Canada.
Canada, and it's on the border.
Right.
Right.
And
Now we need Willie Nelson to write a song about it.
right.
Yes.
And so let's get like a soundtrack. Let's get a war theme song.
Right.
We're going to need a hero.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet.
That's
yeah.
Act 2.
Not yet. But what about a little girl
Yeah.
that her home's been bombed, and
She's gotta get out.
She has to have a kitten.
Kitten.
So-
Not a
dog.
cat.
Not
Not
a
a
cat.
dog.
A
A kitten.
And I need that
specifically.
kitten to be Calico.
Calico kitten.
Calico kitten.
President wants a white one.
We get a modern day Marvel stage where it's just green
Green
screen
screen.
everywhere, and
Yeah.
then we get introduced to her brief role, Kirsten Dunst,
And she's like, I'm going to have credit for this, right?
Yeah.
Put this on
I
my
need
resume,
my-
right? No.
And they're like, sign this paper. She's like, well, I need my agent. No. This is
it's
just
security
this is
clearance.
just
you.
security clearance. Yeah. Just for you.
Yeah.
And she signs away.
She's like, cool, yeah,
Yeah.
awesome.
You can't ever speak about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ever.
And
Ever.
all they have were dogs. Well, here, just hold this bag of Tostitos
What is it?
chips.
What's the dog he's trying to push on?
Push?
It's like a Shih Tzu
No,
or
Lhasa Apso.
Lhasa Apso. Yeah.
Lhasa
He keeps
Apso.
trying to push it on me.
All he's got is the Lopso Opso, and I don't want it.
And I don't want it.
I need a
want
kitten.
So I love that they walk over. They're like, hold this bag of chips. It's like a full bag of chips.
Yeah, we'll add it in later.
And they're like, now
Run
run
and act
and hide
concerned.
behind this wall.
Yeah.
And so she runs, and then we go backstage. The camera kind of goes back to the screens, and he was like,
They're
okay,
running
at a
pose.
village.
Yep.
And a village pops up, and they're like, we need smoke.
I need fire.
Fire, which we never see fire, it's just smoke.
No.
Right.
So we see that, and they're like,
Some screams.
Screams in the background, and it's like one lady just screaming.
Yeah.
And then he was like, ooh, let's add a bridge. Let's
Yeah.
add a bridge. So a bridge gets added.
Dustin Hoffman's like, all right, Calico kitten.
Yeah, he's like,
And
I
then
see all these cats on the screen,
Right.
and I don't see a single calico kitten.
And then somebody else is on the cell phone with the president. Sir, the president wants a white kitten.
I love Dustin
He's like,
Hoffman
let me talk
being
to
like-
let me talk to him. Let me talk to him. It's
Yeah.
like, well, give me a sec. That's the running gag too, is that they never let Dustin Hoffman directly talk to the president.
Anybody.
Right, right.
It's- they add in the white kitten, and then they put it out through the news, and everyone's shocked about the live footage that's going on over in Albania, and the United States declares war. We go back to Dustin Hoffman's house. They're still strategizing, and they're like, well, yeah, that's the war.
To be clear, the United States didn't declare war. The president said we're going to war.
Right.
Huge difference.
Yeah, huge difference. But on that, when they leave the soundstage, they get pulled over. By the CIA.
Yeah, the CIA, who has no business operating in the United States. Whatever.
Bitch, you know, they we know that this is a hoax.
Yeah,
and they're like, well, it's your best interest to let us do this. You know, like,
what do you mean? There's nothing going on? You mean you don't have a job?
Right.
I mean, what your job is to find stuff, right? And you can't find anything,
right?
With all them satellites,
and they flip it. But what they don't know is the CIA is really working for the opposing presidential candidate,
right?
So they forced the president to end the war.
The war's over.
Before it was supposed to. It was supposed to last for 11 days.
It's over. I just saw it on TV.
I saw it on TV.
Saw it on TV. It's over.
It's
not over until I say it's over. I just saw it on TV. It's over.
And they go into panic mode, and they're like, shit.
Now we got an act 2 now.
Yeah, we got it. We got to do act 2.
Dustin Hoffman
now we need a hero.
We need a hero.
It's been left
behind.
Thinking
of old shoes.
Let's talk about shoes.
Old patent shoes.
About patent leather or something.
Let's write like a theme song to it, so they get Willie Nelson.
This is what I thought was great. They recorded that song, and then they placed it in the Library of Congress.
They recorded
like
it on
been
vinyl
there for 70 years.
And he says, "Put this in the old,
I want it to
archives.
Be scratchy, and old, and I wanted to find it in the archives.
And then I need you to start talking to get people to start talking about this old song about old shoes, and eventually,
so they kind of enter in Republic by just like
word of mouth.
Remember
that song about shoes? I remember that.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a good song.
Also, for that though, they were having that whole huge theatrical closing song that Willie Nelson and them wrote,
right?
And then they're just like, scrap it.
The war's over. He's like, scrap it, and they're like, what?
They're like, oh man,
we don't need it anymore.
We don't need it anymore.
Old shoe song.
Now. And I love it's like a We Are the World style song that they were doing.
Willie's like, what key you wanted? I don't know keys, man. Just write me a song.
Yeah.
So then they're like, okay, now we need a hero. Mm-hmm. So they're like, let's get someone like Black Ops that isn't going to be a soldier that is like,
But his name's got to be Schumann.
And he's on the phone with someone saying, do you have a Schumann? Do you have a Schwartz? Do you have a
Schuster?
Schuster, and he's naming all these things.
A shoemaker.
But it has to be someone that doesn't have a lot of family. Yeah. Like Black Ops goes missing. It's a normal thing.
Right.
And so they're like, we have Schumann. They're like, well, let's go get Schumann.
The guy looks just like Woody Harrelson.
He looks just like Woody Harrelson.
Like
so they're like, we're going to take the plane. We're going to go pick him up. Military guys walk with him.
We're going to drop him off in Dulles. We got to have rain, though. Is it going to rain in Dulles in Washington?
It's not supposed to.
Okay, then let's move it to Boca.
Yeah. Boca is supposed to have rain.
So we're going to go to
Boca.
And
Dustin Hoffman says, you should have called me. I can produce rain.
I got a rain machine.
It's Hollywood. We have rain machines.
That's great.
Yeah. So they land, and the military guys are walking up with him. They get on the plane, and he hands her keys.
And then you notice that,
they sign the paperwork first.
Yeah.
Sign it. He's yours.
Yeah, you take him.
And the keys. And they're like, what's this for? And he's completely shackled up.
He's a convict.
He's a convict, and he's a psychopath.
Yes.
He raped a nun.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, is he going to do anything? As long as he's taking his pills.
And Dustin Hoffman's going, this is fine.
We're good. I deal with this all the time.
Yeah. It's not a problem.
This is not a problem.
This is nothing.
This is nothing. It's nothing. And Anne Heche's character is losing her shit. Right? And I love that she gets the medicine out. It's 2 pills every 4 hours.
Yes.
Lord.
And she puts it in her hand, and he licks it out of her hand. And she's like, oh, my God.
Get him off.
I just need to be back by Thursday.
Yeah,
we're having beans.
Am I going to be back in time for beans?
Beans taste good.
And this Woody Harrelson. And they're like, give him another pill.
So I'm going to need these antipsychotic. I need boxes of it.
He says,
boxes of it.
He says, I need a pallet. A pallet of these. Yeah. So he takes the other pill, and then he snaps, and he says, who are you all? Like,
where am I?
Where am I at? What is happening? Am I going to be back? Where are the beans? And he opens the plane door, which sends it like down,
spiraling,
and it crashes.
Right.
And
but we don't see the crash.
We don't see the crash. Everyone is perfect.
Except for the pilots.
Except for the pilots.
Yeah. But he's like laying on his back.
Yeah.
So they hitched a ride.
The combine.
But it's an illegal immigrant.
Yeah.
And so they're like, well, we can't have him bring us back. He's an illegal immigrant.
No, we can fix that. Call the judge.
Yep. Call the judge. So they're using the phone in a convenience store.
Right.
And they let Schumann
This
kind
gets
of...
dark.
Schumann
real
wanders
quick.
off, and he walks over and he sees this lady walking into her house.
Well, she's bending over picking up potatoes or
And
something.
he like licks his lips. And he walks towards her.
So he follows her.
And what's he say to her? I can't remember.
Hi.
He says, I like to boogie. That's what he says.
You want a party?
He said, I like to party. And she screams.
Right,
runs
runs
into the
inside.
And so the convenience store owner, who's an older, bigger, like
Susie.
farmer, Susie, you okay, Susie? He runs in, grabs a shotgun, and Dustin Hoffman is trying to get
Not
him,
good,
and
not good.
he's like, this isn't good. And Anne Heche is trying to get in. Yeah, and
You hear the shotgun go.
Dustin Hoffman runs around
Goes
because he
in.
can't get through
That's
the door.
fine. It's fine.
He runs around the
He's
house.
alive.
He's alive.
He's
Second
alive.
gunshot.
Scratch that.
Scratch that. He's not fine.
He's dead.
He's dead now. And
This is fine.
This
is fine.
as the audience, I'm laughing.
Oh,
Right.
This is not a funny scene
Not at
whatsoever.
all.
But I'm laughing because it's so over the top. Dude.
Right.
It's so over
Just
the top.
Dustin Hoffman's reaction when he opens up the door and he smiles. He's like, "Oh no, he's alive."
Yeah.
Scratch that.
Yeah.
Oh my
Just
god.
like, no big deal. Oh, this is fine. This actually helps.
I don't remember where this is at. They orchestrate also that president will be receiving a wreath by somebody from Albania. And also we get the update of Jim Belushi, who's also Albanian.
Yes. Talking in Albanian, saying that he's disgusted by the Albanian action.
Right.
Like
He denounces them.
it's so good.
At the same time, the U.S. is getting actual reports from Albania being like, what the hell's going on? We haven't declared war
Like,
on anyone.
none
We
of this
don't
is
know
happening.
anything about
Right.
what's going on with this situation.
Right.
But again, this is all
It's like don't look up.
Right, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everything you're seeing on TV and when everything
all
you're
real.
hearing, it's all real. Don't look up. Mm-hmm. You know? So the old lady and the little Albanian girl is when they land, it's at the funeral, isn't it? They land with him
Right.
out of the plane.
Yeah.
And it's a big elaborate military
Yeah.
because he died during the rescue. Mm-hmm. But
Schumann did.
Schumann died.
died.
Died
But-
from complications.
But right behind the scenes, you see the Mexican driver
the
getting
combine
sworn in,
driver.
Taking the oath.
getting sworn
the
in, so he can take credit for like bringing Schumann in.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
As a legal
Yeah.
immigrant.
And so it kind of goes behind the scenes to Dustin Hoffman and Robert
Robert
De
De
Niro,
Niro,
and he's saying,
Hoffman wants the credit.
well, he sees the screen and they're talking about how he has an 89 approval rate, and it's got to be, don't change horses midstream. Like it's his slogan, like his
Yeah.
campaign.
It's set. He's gonna win the
He's gonna
election.
win, and he was like, "This is not
not
because
right.
of that. This is because of what I've just
Me.
orchestrated.
Me.
I
I
did
did
this."
this. Yeah.
He goes, "I'm making a phone call," and
you're
Robert De
not.
Niro's like, "No, you can't do that." He was like, "I'm doing it." He goes, "But what about your ambassadorship? All the women and
I don't
money and."
care.
He goes,
I
"I
want
don't
the
care about
credit."
that. I want the credit."
Yeah.
And he was like, "I'm out of here. I'm going to tell everyone about it."
He's escorted to his own private limo that I'm sure was his actual ride home. And
Yeah, he gets
unfortunately-
flanked by whoever.
Secret
Service.
Service.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he dies of a cardiac arrest in his
home.
home.
Which
so.
I thought
The
was
president is
so dark.
successfully reelected.
Yeah.
So dark.
The Albanian terrorist organization has claimed responsibility for the recent bombing. So this random terrorist organization.
We're going to send more troops back in.
and it's
clean up that
suggesting
mess.
that the fake war is now becoming real.
A real war.
A real war. And that's how Wag the Dog ends.
Yes.
So, I mean, this movie is great. I'm sure that this has happened in some form. Like, there's someone behind saying, we got to shift. We got to
Oh,
shift
I
the
definitely
direction.
agree with that.
Definitely.
Yeah. There's definitely
and I
a shift
bet
out
that some pretty outlandish things have happened.
there. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with our technology these days and, deep fakes.
It would be so much
and-
harder to do, I think, these days on that scale.
Oh,
yeah.
I
Oh,
think-
with communication.
I think it could happen, but on that scale. of
War,
which they
not so
did.
much. Now, they could do stuff to cause war.
Now,
Right.
because of the internet and
Yeah, we would
cell
know.
phones and everything,
Yeah.
it's just
instant
information.
Well, look at TikTok. People could be live in Albania
Right.
and saying there's literally nothing going on.
But they're just a plant, though, They're
Yeah.
just a plant.
I mean, there's always
so.
it's always doubt, like what's
Yeah.
real, what's not. I mean, it's crazy.
War of information.
I mean, so this movie is It's great. The acting's great. It's hilarious at times. It's very hard to follow. Like, you have to pay attention.
Yes.
Otherwise, if you miss something, you're going to be like, I have no idea what's happening.
And I'm sure
Very
that
dark, though.
there are so many
very.
scenes that we just kind of skipped over that bring so much, I think, humor to the movie.
Yeah,
but
also
like,
explanation. Like
Yeah.
the monologue and dialogue, that's all this movie is.
constant.
Like,
And there's
constant talking,
there's
figuring it
subtle
out.
jokes, embedded in all of
there's
this dialogue.
definitely
too.
some.
I think
it's
one
worth
of
a watch.
the darker things about this movie is how none of the people planning any of this really cared
At all.
At
of
all.
any kind of consequence
No.
would happen to anybody else.
No, like you would think they would be horrified that he molested an underage girl.
Or-
they don't even flinch.
or
care.
when Woody Harrelson's killed.
Yeah.
It's just like, actually, this helps.
So-
Yeah, it's over. Now we don't have to
Now we have to
figure
worry
out-
about him talking
Right.
ever.
Which I thought that he had died like during the plane crash anyways.
Yeah, I figured he would have died during
Yeah.
the plane crash, but it was funnier to have him
It was
killed by
way funnier.
A good plan today, better than a perfect plan tomorrow. A line of dialogue in the film spoken by Conrad, which is Robert De Niro, is a real-life quote from World War II General George S. Patton.
Yep, I can see that.
And then talk show phone number.
No plan survives first contact.
There you go.
Yeah.
Phone number in the film also 1-800-555-0199 is common to many films and television shows because this is the only phone number that has been reserved by the phone companies as an allowable fake 1-800 number for media usage. So
Oh,
if you call it
I thought all 555 numbers were
Fake.
just B, BS, could be. So, but yeah, that's
Reminds me of Harry from Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Trying to get the phone number.
Yeah.
Well, I was Wag the Dog. All right, getting into our ratings, we have an S through F scale. S being the best, only 10 movies are allowed in. Currently, we have Jaws,
The Exorcist.
and Way Back, which is actually kind of spiking right now. Yeah,
The way back is.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there
Awesome.
you go.
Everyone should see that movie.
And then
Everyone should see it.
A, B, C being your just average plain Jane film, D being just complete dog crap, and then F being beyond,
Trash.
completely beyond.
We only have 2 of those movies.
Yeah, check out our Trash Can Film Festival for that. So with that being said, guys, what do you guys think about Wag the Dog?
You want to go first?
Sure.
All right, go ahead.
I think it's a super smart movie.
Yeah.
Holds up. It's a little dated, obviously. I think that 1997, like the computer
effects.
stuff, that was believable. You know what I mean? Because we knew that there was like technology, but I think that it's dated now. But the idea of the movie, the dialogue, the acting, it's all top notch. Like, you can't get better than these actors, right?
No.
I think the story is very particular in who's going to like it. Right. Not everyone's going to like this movie. I thought it was entertaining. I recommend it for maybe 25. I know I've said 18, 30, but maybe 25 and up.
Okay.
And if they have interest in politics.
Yeah.
Those are the stipulations. Otherwise, I'm not going to recommend this movie to anyone. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not one I'm going to be like, have you seen Wag the Dog? You know, it's just
Oh my
not.
God, what a transcending movie.
Yeah. Like I would not have ever chose this to review it. You know what I mean? I just,
Yeah.
That being said, I'm going to give it a B. The rewatchability is not really there for me.
No.
I haven't seen it since in the movie theaters in 1997.
Right.
And look at 2024.
Forgot to tell everybody we watched this on Hulu. I did
Yeah.
anyway.
That's right.
Yeah, I didn't find it on Hulu.
I couldn't
I don't
find
have
it
a premium. Do you have a premium Hulu?
No, I have the Disney Plus Hulu.
Really? I bought it for $6.99 because
Yeah.
I got on Hulu and it said no.
Really?
It said unless you have a premium.
Yeah, it was on sale for me on Vudu.
Yeah,
Like,
I got it
since
on
was-
Fandango.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
it's
And
the
it was
same thing.
$6.99, I think.
Yeah,
So,
so.
but yeah, I give it a B. Not terrible, not the best. Decent movie though. It's
fine.
good. Yeah.
I agree with everything you said. I'm going to give it a B minus just because I'm never going to watch it again.
Yeah.
But again, if you're into political parody and satire, this is a good movie. Like you said, all the acting's great. The story's funny. It's got its points.
It's not really one that's ever on TV as well.
No.
So like it's not something you can just stop and watch. Probably won't ever watch this movie again. Unless someone says, "Hey, we're watching Wag the Dog." And I'll be like, "Okay, I'll watch it." You know,
Sure,
like
yeah.
I'll
that's
watch it just to see Woody Harrelson get shot again.
yeah. Calvin?
I feel like this is kind of a political seasonal movie. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those that you're only going to watch like once every 4 years or something like that. So, and again, it's very specific taste in order to, if you're going to really enjoy this movie, it's going to have to hit just right. And I also feel like timing has to hit just right as well.
I feel like this is like someone's love film.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a movie I would show to someone to prove to them that not everything they see on TV is real.
Yeah. But I feel like everything's so specific in this movie. I feel like who's the director?
Barry Levinson.
I feel like he's like, I need to make this movie. You know what I mean?
This is actually based on a book called
Really?
American
Yeah.
Hero.
Well, I mean, maybe he read that and he was like, I need to make this into a movie.
Yeah.
You know,
and I haven't read the book. I mean, so I don't know comparisons or whatever.
Okay,
But yeah.
so-
overall, though, I'd probably go with what you guys were saying. I think I'm going to land on probably a B, though. I think it's above average because of the acting, you know, the
Star
filming
power.
and the comedy. When the comedy hits for me, the comedy really hit for me. I was really laughing, and there were times where I'm like, Chelsea, you've got
Yeah.
to watch
I just can't
this.
believe Harold was in this movie.
Right?
It's fine. This
fine.
is
It's
fine.
fine. Yeah.
Fine. But yeah.
So overall, B.
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 Yeah.
I'm
Sounds
good
like
with
a
the
B
B.
to me.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you guys on the next episode. And if you're listening to this now, go out and vote
Yes.
Vote.
for tomorrow.
Vote.
Vote.
Who you're voting for, just vote.
Yes.
Yeah,
Early
go
and
out and
often.
vote.
So
Yeah.
then you can't bitch and say I didn't vote.
Seriously. That
Get
was
out
my.
there and vote early and often.
I took my son to the voting booth.
I did
and-
last presidential.
Yeah. And I was like, kind of explaining to him the importance, and I was like,
I
yeah,
get emotional when I vote.
Yeah.
I really feel
Yeah.
like a thing about it.
passionate about it.
Civic duty.
Yeah.
Well, just I have the ability to.
Yeah, you get a choice.
I get a choice, and
You
it's
have
such
the
a
right to
crazy
vote.
feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
I might not always be correct. I might not always pick the winner.
Right.
But, you know, at the
least-
same time,
least
it's
I get a voice.
I get a voice. Yep.
Yeah.
So vote.
Go out and vote. Yeah.
Get it
So
done.
Cool.
Cool.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Oi, oi.
Hello and welcome to the Postcast. I wanted to say thank you to all our loyal and new listeners. Shout out to our new listeners and subscribers. Thanks for helping us and supporting us on this journey. We invite you all to check out our Facebook group or check out our Reddit sub. Be sure to tell us in the comments what you think the movie should be rated or what movie we should record next. And be sure to follow us wherever podcasts are found. Join us and get caught up for our next Attack on Anime episode as we cover episode 12 and 13 of Attack on Titan, coming Thursday, November 7th. Also, check out our new movie review Monday, November 11th, as we review A Few Good Men from 1992 to remember Veterans Day. We hope you've enjoyed our program just as much as we did recording for you. Thank you, and stay tuned for our next episode.